Hi everyone, this is Julie from the Yuma Main Library. In 2021, the Yuma Main Library became a part of the Federal Depository Library program. As a Federal Depository Library, our mission is to provide free, ready, and public access to government information to our community. Government publications cover a diversity of topics from congressional hearings, to the President's public papers, to maps, to military history and public health information. Today I wanted to introduce the collection by taking a look at the history of nutrition programs and current food and nutrition government resources. I explored the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Agricultural Library digital collections and found that the federal government has created nutrition programs and published dietary information and advice to the American public for over 100 years, shaping the eating habits of the American people in various ways. So this presentation is going to highlight key parts of American food history. So let's begin. In the early days of the United States, American cuisine was rather plain, relying heavily on meat, potatoes, and cheeses, with the very limited number of fruits and vegetables available for consumption. But in 1898, the American botanist and plant explorer David Fairchild approached the United States Department of Agriculture with the idea of creating a program that would help introduce new crops to American farmers. So the USDA established the Office of Seed and Plant Introduction, and Fairchild became its first director. Fairchild understood that the answers to finding new crops and new methods of farming techniques could only be found abroad. So he employed agricultural explorers who were sent around the world to seek out economically useful plants and learn how to cultivate them. Among these agricultural explorers was Frank N. Meyer, a Dutch immigrant who seemed destined for this kind of work. Meyer had a compulsion for collecting plants, a restless spirit, and an affinity for walking. All these qualities made him the perfect candidate for the position of agriculture explorer in China. The USDA would present Meyer and other explorers with agriculture explorer certificates as a way to introduce themselves and their research on their travels. Their main responsibility was to collect seeds of plants that could be of interest to farmers and possibly introduce new fruits and vegetables to the American public. The Office of Seed and Plant Introduction would function from 1898 until 1917. And during that time, David Fairchild, Frank Meyer, and other agriculture explorers would introduce over 200,000 new plant and crop varieties to American farmers, including avocados, cherry trees, citrus, kale, and papaya, forever changing the American diet. At the same time that David Fairchild and his explorers were seeking new foods around the world, another employee of the USDA was on a crusade for federal regulation of food additives. Dr. Harvey Washington Wiley, the chief chemist for the Bureau of Chemistry, was concerned with the food additives American food producers could get away with putting in their food. They put chalk and formaldehyde in milk. Canned food has salicylic acid, borax, and copper sulfate, which is now used as a pesticide. These additives were used as food preservatives, color enhancers, and to give the impression of freshness. In 1902, Dr. Wiley convinced Congress to fund a project that would study the effects some of these commonly used food additives had on consumers. Dr. Wiley gathered 12 volunteers who were tasked with only eating meals prepared with the additives and documenting the effects on their bodies. The experiment gained national attention as newspapers across the country reported on the group's menus, the poisons, and their effects. The group came to be known by the public as the Poison Squad. Dr. Wiley's work and the findings from the Poison Squad would lead to the passing of the Pure Food Drugs Act of 1906, the first federal law regulating foods and drugs, and the creation of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA. During both World Wars, the federal government ran many campaigns that were meant to persuade Americans to change their eating and food habits as a patriotic duty. The USDA published pamphlets on how to properly can fruits and vegetables, educated the public on how to properly store and conserve food to avoid food waste, and published posters educating people on the interchangeability of proteins and carbohydrates to advocate for food substitution. As we can see in these posters, cottage cheese was promoted as a substitute for meat and corn for wheat. However, the federal government did have a growing concern. In the years leading up to World War II, the federal government widely believed that a significant portion of Americans were malnourished. Since the federal government felt that it was necessary to ensure the health and fitness of both soldiers and civilians in order to fight the war and maintain production of food and weapons on the home front, the Nutrition Division of the War Food Administration designed and distributed a new food guide, the Daily 7. The Daily 7 established nutritional standards under wartime rationing, and the campaign behind it promoted healthy eating as a patriotic duty. What I find fascinating about this nutrition guide is the fact that butter was considered its own food group. The Daily 7 would be the beginning of the visualizations of nutrition guides that introduced food groups and taught Americans about the kinds of foods that were categorized in each food group, and the appropriate number of servings of each. As scientists came to know more about nutrition and food, the dietary food guides were adapted to present the new information. Federal nutrition guides would have many representations throughout the years. The food groups were represented as charts, as a food wheel, and a pyramid as a way to simplify and better communicate the information to the public. USDA's current nutrition guidance system is MyPlate, and it portrays the 5 major food groups as a place setting for a meal. This leads us into our discussion of current nutrition resources available through federal government websites. You are able to find more information about USDA's MyPlate by visiting myplate.gov. The website provides an explanation for each food group, and it lists tools that can help build nutrition skills and make a healthy eating plan for you and your family. The MyPlate quiz analyzes your current eating habits and suggests ways to make small changes for healthier options. You can download the Start Simple with MyPlate app to help pick daily food goals and see real-time progress. And the Shop Simple with MyPlate tool helps find cost-saving, healthy food options in your local area. And finally, MyPlate.gov gives you access to recipes and cooking videos so you can plan easy and healthy meals. For even more reliable information on nutrition, healthy eating, physical activity, and food safety, you can visit another USDA website, nutrition.gov. This website collects resources and tools from various federal agencies in one central location. You can explore exercise and fitness tools, find more recipes, and access information about food assistance programs. It also provides a quick link to USDA's Food Data Central Database, which provides expanded nutrition information for different kinds of food, and a quick link to the Food Keeper app, which teaches users about proper storage of food to maximize food freshness and prevent food waste. Various federal agencies provide nutrition information to the American public. You can also visit the Food and Drug Administration and the Center for Disease Control websites to learn more about nutrition and food safety information, such as food recalls. The FDA also has educational material on food labels that helps consumers learn how to read and understand what is included in these labels, so they can make informed decisions about the foods they buy. The CDC provides information on weight management and the benefits of nutrition to help prevent various diseases, as well as links to other federal agencies' nutrition tools and resources. There's a lot of free government information easily available online for anyone interested in learning more about healthy eating habits and healthy living. This is only a quick history of how the federal government has educated the American people about our food and nutrition, but there are also many resources to explore at the library. If you're interested in learning more about this topic, here are a few titles that you can check out. Or you can find new recipes to try out at your local library branch by visiting the 641.5 nonfiction section to explore all our cookbooks.